Hi guys, happy Saturday. Chef Kevin Belton here, and we're going to do something sweet for you today. Now, you know, different times of the year we get in different fruits. One of the things we love are ponchatoula strawberries. All those strawberries are so good, but any strawberry for me is really good. And basically all I've done, I've taken our strawberries, chopped them up really fine, and I'm going to take a couple tablespoons of lemon juice. You know, a lot of times with desserts and all, and fruits, you want acid. That lemon is just going to brighten up the flavors of this. So we're going to let our strawberries sit in this lemon juice for a little bit, because what we're making today, we're going to make a strawberry cream cheese cookie. I forget, Monica, you had a sweet name for them. What did you call them?
Strawberry cream cheese dreams.
Strawberry cream cheese dreams. Yes, because I dream of cookies. Now, one of the things we have, okay, and if you want to jot this recipe down, 1.25 cups flour, 1/2 teaspoon, half teaspoon of baking powder. Now remember, powder rises, baking soda spreads. So this is a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, okay? 1.5 cups all-purpose flour, 1.25 cups all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. The other thing that's important when you go to bake something, what I have here, I have 4 ounces of butter and 4 ounces of cream cheese. And I've had them sitting out for a while because I want them room temperature, because we're going to cream them together. So 4 ounces of each, and I have 3/4 cups of sugar. So we're going to get our sugar in with our butter and our cream cheese, and we just want to cream this together. It's important to have this at room temperature so that when we do this, it comes together fairly smooth and fairly easy, and it just creams itself together. Now, I could break out a big mixer for this. I just like using a hand mixer. And you know, there have been times when I've been really desperate where I just used a spoon and did the best I could with a wooden spoon. So there we go. See how that's nice and creamed together? Because it came together fairly easy because it was room temperature. Now, we're going to add to that 1 egg and a teaspoon of vanilla. And if you notice, I just put my vanilla in with my egg. We're going to put that in. We're going to make sure this gets mixed in really well. You know, one of the things about baking is that sometimes you don't want to over-mix things. You want to mix them enough to make sure that they're incorporated. So here, let's take our spatula and push this down, just to make sure we get that egg and that vanilla spread out. All right, gang. There we go, nice and smooth. Now, let's start adding part of our flour. Now, I don't want to add this all at one time, so I'm going to take a spoon, just kind of mix this up a little bit. And Monica reminded me, gang, that the recipe is going to be with the post, okay? So if you don't want to write the recipe down, it'll be with the post. So I'll put in about half the flour. And you know, and this is where, make sure you turn it on low, because sometimes if you turn it on too high, that flour goes everywhere. Now, it's going to be nice and smooth at the beginning, but by the time we get all of that flour in, it's going to get a little thicker. And you can see how some areas are dry on this side. That's okay. That's expected. All right? That's why it's nice to have a little spatula that you can use to push things down. Let's go ahead and get the rest of our flour right in. All right? We're going to go ahead and... Now you're going to see this really tighten up with the rest of that flour being put in. This is why it's important to just make sure, just take the time and get those sides down to make sure all of that flour is incorporated and this is mixed well. We only have to mix it until it's thoroughly mixed. Tell you what, that's good. Now, gang, something my mother taught me, because my mother always made cookies and did a lot of cooking. always unplug whatever you're using before you take out and deal with the blades, because of the fact that you never want them to go ahead and accidentally you hit the button while it's still plugged in while you're taking them out. So always go ahead and unplug it first. And I don't know if anybody want to work on this once I get this cleaned off. You know, they're saying that everything will kill you these days, but I tell you what, I don't think raw cookie dough has killed any kid yet. All right? Even though it has, yeah, I know, Monty, it has a little raw egg in it, you know? I think as a kid we ate dirt. So I guess that's why a little raw egg didn't hurt us. But then again, a buddy of mine told me, says, they don't make kids like they used to, you know? Where kids these days, they have all of the immune systems that are not built up as much as we did, I guess, as kids, because we ate dirt and everything else. Well, but it works. Okay, gang. White chocolate chips, 5 ounces. Basically, a little less than a cup. If you don't have chips, just take your white chocolate and just chop it up in pieces. Now, we're going to get this mixed in. And this is where you might need a sturdy spatula for this, just to get them folded in, just to make sure that they're kind of in there really good and not all in one spot. And you notice how I'm taking this and spreading it out a little bit, because we're going to get our strawberries in. But here's what I want to do with our strawberries first, okay? I'm going to take our strawberries, drain that lemon juice, and what I have here is flour, okay? All right, put them right back in the bowl. I'm going to take a little flour, a couple teaspoons of flour, and sprinkle this over our strawberries. And just coat our strawberries in the flour. Now, the reason this is done, okay? You often hear about doing this with blueberries. Well, basically, in this batter, if we would put fruit in, like blueberries or strawberries in, without the flour, it would all sink to the bottom. So all the strawberries would end up on the bottom of the cookie. By putting flour on the fruit, it attaches to the batter and it'll hold its space where it's stirred in. So you see here, come on, guys, get in there. Our strawberries, they won't all sink to the bottom when we get our cookies together. And just get this worked in. Now, this is one of those cookies that, you know, some are very even, some of them look very pretty and uniform. This is one of those cookies that they all come out a little bit different. And I'm going to show you why. I have a little tablespoon here, okay? Now, the oven is preheating 350 degrees, all right? I am just using, you could use parchment paper, but today I just have a sill pad in our baking pan. And we want to put these about 1 inch apart, okay? Now, all I'm going to do is take our tablespoon, pop a tablespoon down. You know, do you want to make them big? Do you want to make them small? You can make some bigger than others. And these cookies aren't going to spread out so much as opposed to puff up. Now, something I did earlier when I made some, let me grab it and show you. I had a little tiny ice cream scoop, and I'd scoop out a little bit and put it down, okay? Here, I'm just going to take, kind of freehand them, just with the spoons. Now you see, look at that one. That one didn't look like it had some strawberries in there. So here, let's just stick a couple and put them in. Uh-oh, that's going to be a big one. That's going to be a big one.
That'll be mine.
That'll be yours? Monica says that'll be hers. And of course, Cookie's over on the sofa. Cookie's like, man, can you please hurry up with this? Now remember, with dogs, gang, dogs can't have chocolate, okay? So when I give Cookie a piece of this,
that's white chocolate.
I'll make sure. Yeah, I know it's white chocolate, but can we give him white chocolate? No. She can have white chocolate? Okay. See, just as a habit, guys, you know, we men, we don't want to mess up. So I just never gave her chocolate, white chocolate, dark chocolate. I know she couldn't have dark chocolate, but I didn't know she could have white chocolate.
Or milk or something sweet.
But I just made sure that I was just kind of keep her safe and not give her to her at all. All right. So I would break her off a piece of the cookie with just the dough and not any chocolate inside, just out of habit, just to be safe. Now, I have some more that, of course, I'm going to go ahead and save for later. But what I want to do with this is called sanding sugar. Basically, it's sugar that it's big grains that you see sometimes on the top where it gives that little crunch on the top. I'm sorry, Monica, I shook it. And you know what? I'm sorry. Look at that, gang. That first cookie we put on there looks so pitiful. We got to go ahead and make it a little bigger the size of the rest of them. Okay? Now, you don't have to do sanding sugar. Sanding sugar just gives that little bit of crunch, little bit of color right on the top as it bakes. And the thing about this is optional, whether you want to do the sanding sugar or not. And you don't want to put too much because I think with the chocolate chips, this is kind of sweet already. It's not overly sweet, but it's a nice sweet cookie that this little sanding sugar gives more of a texture with a little hint of sweetness. All right, that's all we need. Now, the thing about these cookies, right now, this I'll go ahead and put in the oven. I mean, not in the oven, gang, I'm sorry. I lost my mind. In the refrigerator. I want to put them in the refrigerator so they hold their shape just for 5 or 10 minutes. So after 5 or 10 minutes in the refrigerator, I'll take them out and put them straight in the oven. And of course, I have some that I already did. Now, I was trying to be a good boy. If you notice these, they don't have any of the sanding sugar on the top because I figure I could at least maybe have some of these because they don't have that extra sugar on them that Monica might let me have this. But you see, we want to cook them till they just kind of browned on the bottom. Now, personally, you know, you always hear me talk about cooking to your taste. I like that little crispy bottom, okay? So in the oven, they're going to stay in the oven for 13 to 15 minutes. As soon as you see the edges starting to brown, okay? So when you see those edges starting to brown off, you know they're ready. Now, and I'll leave them a little extra minute just to get that little extra toastiness on the bottom because I like that little crunch. But I tell you what, this is a great dessert to do with strawberries. That sour cream in there, I mean, not sour cream, the cream cheese. That cream cheese does make them so smooth and creamy that the texture is nice and soft and they're just, ooh, so delicious. Look at that inside. Oh man, that is so good. So I'm gonna have to eat that later, okay? So I hope you get the kids together, or when the kids are outside, go ahead and make these and keep them for yourself. So get yourself some strawberries, and you know what? I want to try the same recipe with some other fruits. You know, why not do it with blueberries? Why not even cut up a little pear maybe and put in it? I'm wondering how, you know, we keep bananas around these days, and sometimes the bananas get overripe. Putting a little banana in that, I wonder how that would work. I might have to try that. So I hope this helped, okay? You'll see the recipe on the post, all right? And I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you try these cookies out because they are really good. So for WWO, I'm Chef Kevin Belton. Have yourself a fantastic Saturday, and we'll see you soon. Ooh, Monica, how many can I have?